Hi, and welcome back to the LegalIn.com YouTube channel. We're all about educational and learning videos. Today's video is about the Contract Cancellation Agreement. But before we begin, if you learned something from this video, remember to give us a thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell button to become part of the LegalIn.com world. Remember, this video is for educational purposes only and is not meant to be a substitute for an attorney. Let's go ahead and begin. So when you come to our home screen on LegalIn.com, you'll see the Finance and Business section right here, and underneath there you'll see Cancellation Agreement detailed. Go ahead and click on it. Now while we let that load, let me explain to you what this agreement is and how it's used. So usually parties will enter into an agreement or a contract of some sort at one time or another to either buy services, to lay out something, or whatever the reasons are, and at that point of time, that agreement or contract made sense for the parties. However, as life goes on and things change, at a later point, the agreement or contract may no longer make sense for the parties, and it would be more beneficial to cancel that agreement. Now, in order to cancel that agreement, the best way to do so is to put everything down in writing. This way, if there's ever a dispute or a conflict, everything will be clear and in writing. This cancellation agreement is the document that says that the parties have agreed to now cancel their existing agreement and that all duties and obligations that they owe to one another are no longer. Now, we offer you two versions of our document. We offer you a detailed version, which is right here, and a simple version where I'll show you in the video where you can find that. If you have any duties or obligations or anything in the provisions of the original contract that will be surviving the cancellation, then go ahead and use this detailed version, and in here it'll allow you to state what is surviving. Now, the cancellation agreements will usually ask you for information about the parties who are involved, their full name, addresses, what's the name of the agreement that they had entered into, the underlying agreement, the date that it was entered into, and signatures. Now let's go ahead and select the state you're in. I'm today in the state of New Jersey. Go ahead and select the state that you're in, and it'll bring you to a page that gives you some information about what the contract is. You'll see here there's a button for the document instructions. It'll give you step-by-step instructions on how to fill out the document. And right here is the download the document button. All you have to do is enter your email. We don't ask you for your credit card or any other information. But before we go ahead and fill out the document together, I just want to show you something. As you scroll down, it'll say this is the detailed version. Now, if you're having any terms or provisions of the original agreement surviving, you'll want to fill out this detailed version. If you are not, then you'll go ahead and click here, and it will take you to the simpler version of this document, and that's right here. And I'll show you what that looks like. The simpler version will be a one-page agreement that just asks for the names of the parties, the date the contract was entered into, what the contract is, and that they're canceling. It's really simple. Now today we're going to be filling out the detailed one, which is right here. I've gone ahead and started filling it out, and let's do it together. On the first section, right here on the first paragraph at the top, it asks you for the names of the parties and the addresses. Now you'll want to make sure that the names you're putting into this agreement match the names that are in the underlying agreement or contract. They must match up. So we've put in the full name, and remember, if it's a corporation or LLC, you'll include the full name, their address, right here, and Leonard Jones with his address I've put in here. Now section 1 talks about the previous agreement. Here you want to enter in the name of the contract or agreement that's being canceled and the date that it was entered into. So here I put in the date, and I put in there was an agreement for the sale of supplies. You want to include any other information, the title of the agreement, the content, the purpose, the effect, if it's a service agreement, say it's a service agreement, and for what. And we give you enough space to fill that out. Section 2 talks about cancellation. Section 3 talks about if there is anything that's surviving the cancellation. So, example, ours was an agreement to buy supplies, and everything's being canceled. We no longer need pens or staples or notepads, but we still want to continue buying our pencils from them. So I put in Section 11.01, sales of pencils is surviving. You'll want to be specific, put in the section number or title number, the title name, and any other information you have here if something is surviving. If no terms or obligations are surviving from the previous or underlying agreement, just type in not applicable right here. As you scroll down, you'll come to the next section. It'll ask you for the state that's governing this contract. I'm in the state of New Jersey, so I put that in. Then you'll come to section G, that notices. Here it'll ask you for the address and names of each of the parties. Well, they'll want to receive any notices that will be sent to them or any forms of communications. You'll enter that right here. And then you'll come to the signature section. You'll want to date the signature section. The date is going to be entered as the day, the month, the year, and then you want the city and state that you are in. Then the first party will sign here, and the second party will sign here. And that's the whole agreement. Pretty simple, easy to fill out. I hope this was useful for you. Remember to give us a thumbs up if you learned something from this video, and remember to check out legaledin.com, the better way to legal.